Reach clearsprings.net, then contact us tab, or 337-519-3563.
BB's Auto Sales has been serving Acadiana since 1966. Cleanest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Need financing? No problem. BB's offers easy financing for all credit types, including in-house financing. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your trade. Voted top 3 dealership in Community Choice Awards 2 years in a row. Visit BB's Auto Sales, 2 convenient locations off Johnston Street and in Abbeville. bbsautosales.com. Cleanest cars in Acadiana.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Hebert, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Hebert, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealHebert.com. That's BealHebert.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals took home the Home Run Derby championship last night in his first ever time competing in the contest. He beat out Philly Kyle Schwarber in the championship round 12-11 and hit 6 consecutive home runs, with 4 coming on the bonus ball to beat Schwarber for the crown. Walker's longest home run of the night was 470 feet, but Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay had the longest of the Derby with a 491-foot blast in the second round. Continuing with the MLB All-Star break, the 2026 All-Star Game gets underway tonight from Philadelphia. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez is in the starting lineup for the American League, batting in the 2 spot as the designated hitter. On the mound, it'll be Dylan Cease of Toronto representing the American League, opposite of Christopher Sanchez for the National League and the hosting Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is at 7 p.m. tonight from Citizens Bank Park. Today in the FIFA World Cup semifinals, France will face neighbor and longtime rival Spain for a spot in the World Cup final. This is the 3rd straight semifinal fixture between the two teams in competitive tournaments, with Spain winning both of the previous meetings. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. this afternoon from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The road to the college football season continues tomorrow as Kevin Foote and Dawson Iserlo will head to New Orleans for Sun Belt Conference Media Days. You'll be able to catch Footnotes with Kevin Foote from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by The Lowdown with D-Lo from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Coverage begins tomorrow with live interviews and all the latest news on Sun Belt Conference football. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome into Footnotes. You are listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. You can give us a call on the ESPN hotline in about 15 minutes as we broadcast live from the Beal & Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal & Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Usually for most of my life, not every year, but most years for the last 50 years, I enjoy the All-Star break, but it's normally an angst-filled time filled with great anticipation. It's like, let's go, let's play. So
you're saying you're ready for the season to resume?
This year's different.
Okay.
I needed a break. This team just wears you out every day. When you have no starting pitching, you have no outfield. I mean, you're playing with a AAA start rotation and a AAA outfield. I mean, it's just a daily grind. So it's like I'm actually relishing the break more than I ever have.
Well, the break's here now. So
I mean,
kick your feet up.
I needed this break. Normally, I'm like, oh, are we ever gonna play again? If they want to take another couple days off, I'm fine with that. But first of all, the bullpen needs the rest because the starting pitching is so miserable. Maybe Dana Brown can, another couple days, can figure out a way to trade for some major league players. He better not wait till like the trade deadline week. They need, something needs to happen before that. All right, so I am. Football season essentially starts tomorrow with day one of the Sun Belt Conference Media Days, and we'll be in New Orleans. We'll be traveling down there this afternoon to kind of get set. Hopefully there's not any flooding issues in New Orleans. I keep hearing about flooding in New Orleans.
Well, I need that to be gone by Sunday because we have to fly out of New Orleans. But I can tell you, coming to work this morning after the thunderstorm that rolled through here at about like 4:45, 4:50. Yeah, I almost needed a boat to get here.
I had some water issues on the normal way I come in here. Where I live, we hardly ever have water issues. So I know when it's raining, but I'm not flooding is hardly ever an issue. And so, we'll see how that goes. I did get the whole Netflix thing. Is the game on Netflix tonight?
The All-Star game?
Yeah.
I honestly, I haven't
Anyway,
even
the
checked.
Home Run Derby was on Netflix. And so that complicates. Normally, I'm watching the baseball on my phone. Michelle's watching some movie or whatever we're watching, depending on what time of the year. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so I'm watching, whether it's the Astros, but it's hard for me because then you got to go through the whole password stuff and all that. It's easy for me to watch the Astros on my phone. It's hard for me to get Netflix on my phone.
Well, Netflix is probably one of the easiest streaming apps to navigate and have on your phone. But I see what you're saying. It is aggravating.
It's different.
It'll be on Fox tonight, so it'll be on live TV.
Okay, that's good. So I'll be able to, kind of monitor. But last night, I said all that to say I missed the first couple rounds, but fortunately, I did get to see the final round, and there was some concerns, and if anyone watched and have a different opinion, certainly let us know. There were some concerns that the new format would be a little more on the boring side because there's no longer time and guys would be taking some pitches, and they did take some pitches. But, I don't – it's not a problem for me. I mean, I don't have to have – if you're a baseball fan, if you have to have instant action for you, go watch basketball or something and
yeah,
watch
that's not
guys
why
foul out. I mean, that's just.
If you're a baseball fan, you know the deal.
Yeah, and so, but it was really good. I mean, the finals it helped that it was in Philly and Schwarber was in the finals and they were pulling for him. Michelle was like, man, they're being kind of rude to that other guy. I mean, that's part of the deal. He had to know that going in.
These are Philly fans. They're rude. Yeah. They booed Santa Claus one year for an Eagles game. They're rude to everyone. So it's an awesome fan base.
So I don't think it messed with him. And it might have motivated him a little bit, actually. But no, what Jordan Walker did was very impressive. To maintain his composure and hit, what was he down? He was down 3, I think, with one swing left. And so he had to hit all of them, and then he had to hit the last one so he can get more swings, and he did it.
Yeah, he hit 6 consecutive, so he was, at a point, he was down 6-11 with technically, 3-4 balls left?
I mean, it was impressive.
Because he hit 4 on the bonus. Yeah, he hit 4 home runs on his bonus. So.
And one of the ones right before the bonus was he hit it to center field. I'm like, don't be hitting it to center field. Now, it got out, but, like, don't be hitting it to center field. That's the hardest part to do it. But, no, he was impressive. And what an interesting story because, again, he was going to be one of those guys that you hear, if you're a Cardinal fan, you heard about him for a couple years and he was going to be the next great player. And then he comes up to the major leagues and he does nothing. And then he does nothing. And you're like,
Yeah, start losing your patience.
Yeah, is it going to happen? And so going into this season, it was kind of like a do or die thing for them in the minds of most Cardinal fans. I don't know the front office perhaps, but probably the front office too. And he's had a fabulous season. I know when the Astros played him, they couldn't get him out. The Astros normally get Schwarber out pretty good, but over the years, I mean, they don't face him a lot, but when they have faced him regular season post, they kind of got him out pretty good. Jordan Walker, they didn't get out. The Astros ain't got the Cardinals out in 2 or 3 years. I mean, the Cardinals are they look tremendous when they play the Astros offensively to me. But anyway, no, and that just kind of adds to it. So he's in the All-Star game. He wins the home run derby. And, I don't know what that's going to do for the Cardinals the rest of the way, but he's kind of starting to establish himself here.
I have a question for you because I just got asked by a fan, good listener, former. I don't want to reveal too much. He's a good fan, though. Do you dislike the camera angles? He said the camera angles for the home run derby were awful. I didn't really notice it, but I'm curious because that's the first time I've heard somebody bring that up.
In other words, not being able to see the flight of the ball, maybe?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Now that he said there were plenty of times where I had no idea where the ball was.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen home run derbies where you could see the flight of the ball a whole lot more. There were plenty of swings last night where they swung and you could only tell by the reaction of the crowd and the inflection in the announcer's voice whether it was hit or not. You had no idea where the ball was.
Yeah,
that is true.
And I hadn't thought of it until he brought it up, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Now that
that is true.
Yeah.
That I did kind of notice that last night. I'm worried about being able to count to 3, so I'm not going to worry about that. But, but yeah, I think that is true. That's a good observation that you really couldn't always see. It's like you could see the swing, and again, you had no idea really where the ball was. And so, no, I don't think the camera work was as good as I've seen it for home run derbies. Now, I don't think that's easy, other than, I guess if you're a right-handed hitter, you kind of know where the ball's going. Jordan Walker, one of his missed hits, he flew out to like medium right field, but most of them, he's pulling and Schwarber's pulling. I mean, they're not, so you kind of know where the ball's going. But no, I thought it was great drama. I think Barry Bonds went a little too far. He kept saying this is the greatest home run derby ever. I don't know if it was the greatest home run derby ever. It was good. I mean, the finals was very compelling, and I don't know. I didn't have an opinion about it. I would not have thought Jordan Walker would be there in his first time. But there was a moment there where you found yourself kind of pulling for him because everyone in the crowd was booing him.
Yeah. I mean, but
they were more than booing him. They were cheering when he fell, which I guess it's all the same, but it's kind of different. Like,
yeah, you don't necessarily. I mean, it's a home run derby. It's not, it's not the end all be all. You don't need to root against somebody. You just
but
guy.
I get it. I mean, they're pulling for their guy. So, but if you weren't a Philly fan, then I don't know. I found myself pulling for Jordan Walker as he even before he stepped up, but really pulling for him when he got to about 6 homers. Like, man, it'd be nice to do this. But when he got down to one swing and he had to essentially hit, like you said, 6 in a row, I was like, I don't see how he's going to be able to do this. And that's what made it so impressive that he did do it in those circumstances.
Yeah. So, yeah, he had 3 swings left. He hits 2, and then he goes for 4 on the bonus ball. So, yeah, he was losing.
By the way, again, Bonds, it was interesting to see Bonds there just because of who he is and all that. But, he just kind of kept saying the same thing. This is the greatest home run derby ever. It was impressive what he did. But you know who does impress me? Every time I hear an interview or hear him host something, Rizzo is unbelievable. He really is impressive.
I love Anthony Rizzo.
He is very impressive. Now, he's played for 2 teams. I don't really care about the Cubs. Our friend Stevie P absolutely hates him. He's there, he hates him, and I get all of why he hates him, but even though I don't necessarily agree with him on all that, but he hates him. But most people don't hate the Cubs unless you're a Cardinal fan, and you're supposed to hate the Cubs.
Absolutely.
And he played for the Yankees. So he played for 2 teams I never root for, or hardly ever root for. But he is impressive.
Also, and
really impressive when he talks. He's got a great person. He's got a great kind of where he's fun, and yet you can tell he's really passionate about the game.
Yeah, the guy, he likes to have a good time. He doesn't take himself too seriously. I love him. And a crazy thing about him, too, and I don't know how much he still is, but he's kind of an LSU fan because he was at the 2019 National Championship wearing LSU gear. I've seen him post pictures at the university golf course in Baton Rouge. I have no idea why. I don't think he has any. I remember I tried to look it up one time. I couldn't find if there was a tie to the area or the team. He didn't play for LSU. I don't even know.
He went from high school, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he was recruited
I could be
there.
wrong, but I thought maybe so. And by the way, when he's sitting sideways, when they first panned to him, I said, "Who is that?" Kind of looks like Bregman.
A little.
On the side, not when you really look at him in this front, but when he was sitting on the end, so you saw his profile. And when you first panned to him, I'm like, is that Bregman? Why is Bregman there? And then, oh, no, when they showed it close, I'm like, that's Rizzo. But he kind of profiles like Bregman a little bit.
Another that most people don't know, he did play for the Red Sox and the Padres. He started with the Red Sox. Didn't play long, but he did start there.
He's I think hopefully he continues to be part of the media. I enjoy him. All right. Well, this leads right into our poll question, but let's do this. Let's take, because we don't have time to really get into it. Let's take our first time out. When we come back, we'll do the poll question and comment on that. And obviously, if you would like to call about the home run derby and any other stuff we're going to get into, feel free to do so at that time. We'll take a time out and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Fellas here at ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles are packing their bags and heading to Florida, Tampa, to be exact, for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July the 20th. RP3 and Mesh and the Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's coverage of SEC Media Days, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. In addition to the live shows, the guys there on the ground will be doing daily reports on Jardy's show as well as right here on Footnotes. Kick off the 2026 football season in Tampa with the ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of Four Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserlo talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
August 15th is the date for the 12th annual Fête du Teche boat procession down the Bayou Teche. The day begins with Mass en Francais with Bishop Desautels at 8 a.m. at St. Leo's Church in Leonville. The boats then depart for a Eucharistic boat procession ending in St. Martinville. Register your boat today or find out more information at fêtedudetech.org or by liking their Facebook page. Don't miss the 12th annual Fête du Teche, Saturday, August 15th.
Misfits Dine and Drink, a destination restaurant in Broussard, is constantly evolving. Dine in for great food and a great atmosphere. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or brunch on Saturday or Sunday, stop in to enjoy a handmade gourmet pizza or one of their delicious pastas. Take a sip of their new and seasonal craft cocktails and mocktails. And don't forget dessert. Try the birthday cake bread pudding. Whether it's new menu items or old favorites, come to Misfits for a great food experience. It's classic Italian with a modern twist. Misfits Dine and Drink, 200 Heritage Parkway off Highway 90 in Broussard.
Hello, Acadiana. Cajun Carts is your #1 full-service dealer for new, used, and custom golf carts. Perfect for on the job site, the neighborhood, or even out on the green. We are the only authorized dealer of American-made E-Z-GO and Club Car here in Acadiana. For all your service, sales, and mechanical repairs, we got you. So don't wait. Roll on over to CajunCarts.com or stop by our Lafayette location by the Jockey Lot and see why we've been Louisiana's golf cart headquarters since 2003. Cajun Carts. Why walk when you can ride?
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit GoVote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. Your home for the Houston Astros.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, do so 706-0111, 706-0111. All right, so let's set up our poll question of the day.
Yes, so instead of doing are you happy this guy won, or what do you think of the All-Star game tonight, we just did a nice little fun, who wins this home run derby? Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, or Albert Pujols?
All right, so this can be a very complicated question.
Well, all in their prime, all having a guy pitch to them that is, prop equivalent to what they had pitched to them in their prime. Okay, so not, Skeens throwing to Babe Ruth.
Well, no one has a great pitcher throwing to him.
But you see what I'm saying?
What I'm talking about complicated here is you have two right-handed hitters and two left-handed hitters. So in the old school parks, the power alleys in center field was monstrous. Like,
oh, yeah, you ever
down the right field line at the old Yankee Stadium was short, but in left center, it was huge.
No, the Polo Grounds had like a whole nother field in center
field. Yeah,
it
was unbelievable. So a lot of that, to me, is going to be based on, we talk about the Yankees short porch and right for left-handed hitters. There's not like Fenway. Like if you did it at Fenway, of course, Fenway's short down the lines, kind of both. But, the whole Monsters, it's not far. So, I mean, for a right-handed hitter, I think you'd have a big advantage. Like when they did it at Fenway all them years ago, McGuire hit all them home runs. But a left-handed hitter's a little different. And so a lot of it's going to depend on the park. I think Pujols is as good a hitter as there's ever been. I hate him. He tortured me my whole life. His whole career, he just tortured me. But he was as good a hitter. His first 10 years, he was as good as anyone. But I never could. He's not, and I don't even think he considers himself a home run hitter. And so I don't know that he's like, I wouldn't pick him, even though he's probably the best hitter of all of them.
Yeah, and these are also, what I will add, these are the top 4 leaders in home runs in the MLB.
Hank Aaron, to me, was a great hitter. It sounds crazy because he hit all these home runs, but I don't know that he had this great home run swing. To me, it's the left-handers. Now, maybe I'm just being biased because the left-handed swing is prettier than the right-handed swing. And I think Aaron was more of a line drive hitter, so he might knock the wall if it was at Fenway, he might knock the Green Monster down, but I don't know how many he'd hit over it. Kind of thing. So I don't think Aaron. I mean, man, if I think Ruth in his prime, if they were playing, like at Yankee Stadium or someone that had a short porch and right, you realize how much bigger the bat that cat used than the bat that Barry Bonds swung with. I mean, Ruth swung with these huge bats. I just wonder if the cat ever took care of himself and had a bat that was smaller and could create a little more bat speed, what he would do, because he already created a lot with a humongous. I mean, the cat was basically swinging a tree.
All right, how about this? We put the home run derby at Charles Schwab Field because it's all kind of the same. It's 335 down left and right, 375 to both power alleys. All right, so
I'm terrible with that. Which one is this?
This is where the College World Series.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So we put it Omaha. There. So 335 to left and right, 375 to both power alleys, 408 straightaway center. No high fences on either side, really. It's pretty uniform. That was the word I was looking for.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, cookie cutter. So it doesn't suit either, any lefties or righties.
And are we using the live juice balls now, or are we using the balls that Ruth hit with?
I say we use the balls now and the bats now. Or you could do it where each person uses the equivalent in their era. So, bat and ball, standard one at that time. Could do it that way. But to make it uniform, all using the same bat and the same ball from this era.
I mean, if I think I would go. The thing about it also depends on the rules. Are we using this year's rules? Because I think not when you can rest, I would give Ruth the advantage. But Bonds was way superior athletically. So in the old rules where you could get off more swings, I think Bonds would win.
Okay. But in the new rules?
I think I might say Ruth.
Okay.
Especially if he can use the hot balls that they have now.
What if you gave them all aluminum bats? Who you taking?
Oh. Another thing, I'd have to go back and look. I think when they used to do home run derby, I think they used pitching machines. This whole deal of a pitcher like 30 feet away, I don't, that's kind of weird to me. In the old home run derbies, I think they use pitching machines.
Well, also, there's human error involved in that when you have a pitcher up there, because there's been plenty of times where I've seen bad throws.
Oh, no, a lot of bad throws. The guy throwing the Schwarber last night had a lot of bad pitches.
Yeah, so this says they never used pitching machines.
They never did in the old home run derby? And who was pitching?
So it says the MLB Home Run Derby has never used pitching machines in its main televised event.
No. I'm talking about the old 1950s Home Run Derby. I think they used pitching machines. The old school Home Run Derby, when they'd play in these old parks and they'd have like Mickey Mantle against Willie Mays and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure that was pitching machines. So I don't think they ever used live pitching. And if they did, I doubt they were 30 feet away from the plate like they were last night, which that was kind of, they're almost too close to me.
Well, they may need to move them further back just for safety. No, it says it's never used it. It's always been human arms.
Okay. Okay, that's what I'll do. If you have time to rest, I'll pick Ruth. If they don't have time to rest, I'll say Bonds.
Okay, so you're going hot dogs and beer versus steroids.
Yes.
That's two things that give a man power right there. Three things.
Ruth could. I mean, is there any if there was a fifth one, what would that be?
A fifth one? Alex Rodriguez is 5 on the list.
Yeah.
Or Griffey.
Cool. Nice. See, I'd pick Griffey. Griffey in his prime would win.
That's a solid answer.
He had the that swing. Of course, his prime, didn't last very long because he was always injured.
Also true.
Yeah. But no, it's interesting. It's a good question. Great question. And probably there's sometimes that you can complicate questions. I probably did that a little too much. But there's a lot of factors that go into it is the point I was trying to make.
Do you know the 10 home run leaders in the MLB? I've given you 5 already. Actually, 6.
I mean, Mays hit 667, didn't he?
He hit 660 is what the MLB recognizes.
660, okay.
He's number 6 on the list. Griffey is 7 at 630, and A-Rod is 696 in 5th place. So really, all you need is 8, 9, and 10. And their names you know.
Well, I certainly know them, and I used to know them, but didn't Tomey hit?
Yes, Tomey is number 8 at 612. You got 2 more.
That's a shame that Tomey is that high. How many did Frank Robinson hit?
He's number 10. He's at 586.
And I want to say, did Killebrew hit 579? What did he hit? Is he on that list?
Who's Wait, is that
Armin Killebrew?
Yes, he is, but he's actually number 12. He's at 573.
Oh, 573, okay.
So there's another player that you're missing that is commonly linked to something that Bonds is linked to.
Oh, not McGuire.
He's linked to McGuire.
Who else is?
Come on. He played for a team that wore blue and red. Ran with the American flag in the outfield. SS.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Sammy Sosa.
Oh, and that guy's not a baseball player. I don't count him.
He's number 9 at 609.
That's why I just Sammy Sosa.
But
he used Sammy bats. Now, if Babe Ruth gets to use the Sammy bats that he used, then Babe Ruth wins.
Well, Sammy Sosa is the only person in the top 10 that played less than 20 years in the MLB to be on this list.
That guy.
He's at 609 home runs. He had an 18-year career.
Sosa and McGuire are the two of all of those guys you mentioned, and Tomey, are 2 of the 3 of the guys who were not Hall of Fame baseball players. They were just a product of when they played. That none of those guys were Hall of Fame baseball players. They were just a product of when they played, which kind of like Kurt Warner, which is fine. I mean, in football, like you are, you when you are. But some guys, to me, a true Hall of Famer is a guy that you'd be a Hall of Famer regardless of systems and errors and all that kind of stuff. Some of those guys are just system and era guys, and those were definitely system and era guys, in my opinion. No, I used to be able to recite that stuff, but when they all started doing all that, again, and I'm not anti-steroid. I think the steroid era has been very, very misinterpreted, and I think those guys, other than McGuire and Sosa, who are not Hall of Fame baseball players, in my opinion, Sosa was so unfundamentally sound for most of his career, and then all of a sudden he starts hitting all these home runs. I think all those guys should be in the Hall of Fame, for most of them anyway. Great question. Was this your question? Or who are we giving credit for?
This was my question, yes.
Oh, that was a great question.
Thank you. Appreciate
We'll
that.
take a timeout and be back.
Live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals took home the Home Run Derby championship last night in his first ever time competing in the contest. He beat out Philly Kyle Schwarber in the championship round 12-11 and hit 6 consecutive home runs, with 4 coming on the bonus ball to beat Schwarber for the crown. Walker's longest home run of the night was 470 feet, but Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay had the longest of the Derby with a 491-foot blast in the second round. Continuing with the MLB All-Star break, the 2026 All-Star Game gets underway tonight from Philadelphia. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez is in the starting lineup for the American League, batting in the 2 spot as the designated hitter. On the mound, it'll be Dylan Cease of Toronto representing the American League, opposite of Christopher Sanchez for the National League and the hosting Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is at 7 p.m. tonight from Citizens Bank Park. Today in the FIFA World Cup semifinals, France will face neighbor and longtime rival Spain for a spot in the World Cup final. This is the third straight semifinal fixture between the two teams in competitive tournaments, with Spain winning both of the previous meetings. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. this afternoon from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The road to the college football season continues tomorrow as Kevin Foote and Dawson Iserloh will head to New Orleans for Sun Belt Conference Media Days. You'll be able to catch Footnotes with Kevin Foote from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by The Lowdown with D-Lo from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Coverage begins tomorrow with live interviews and all the latest news on Sun Belt Conference football. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and The Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The best businesses aren't just businesses, they're neighbors. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino. They have the newest games around. Hot seat drawings and monthly specials like no one else. Located on the Bro Bridge Highway and on the banks of the Vermilion River. Come out today and try your luck at the Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local, certified South Louisiana.
Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1s. Every day, one thought haunts you. What if I stop? A 2026 British Medical Journal study says you're going to gain every pound back. So, what now? Well, there's an answer. Alex Goen patented hypnosis. The Journal of the American Medical Association says adding behavior therapy to GLP-1s produces 3 times the results than GLP-1s alone. And hypnosis is behavior therapy concentrated. Alex Goen Hypnosis is the only U.S. patented hypnosis proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office. Engineered to destroy cravings, make you full on half the food, and kill late-night fridge attacks. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome, 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com.
BB's Auto Sales has been serving Acadiana since 1966. Cleanest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Need financing? No problem. BB's offers easy financing for all credit types, including in-house financing. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your trade. Voted top 3 dealership in Community Choice Awards 2 years in a row. Visit BB's Auto Sales, 2 convenient locations off Johnston Street and in Abbeville. bbsautosales.com. Cleanest cars in Acadiana.
Attention first responders, police officers, firefighters, military and former military personnel. If you have an acre or more of grass to cut, Skag Zero-Turn Mowers would like to thank you by offering you a special discount with their Simply the Brave First Responders program. Save big money on the industry's top-rated zero-turn mower at Nolan's Lawnmower in Carencro. Nolan's can offer well-qualified buyers 0% financing for 48 months. Come by Nolan's Lawnmower at 3547 Northwest Evangeline Thruway and check out the full line of Skag zero-turn lawnmowers.
Do yourself a favor and download the free ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app, powered by Moss Motors BMW for your Android or Apple devices. Download the app by searching ESPN 103.7 Lafayette or ESPN 104.1 Lake Charles. It's just that easy to take Southwest Louisiana's sports station with you wherever you go.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, certainly feel free, 706-0111. All right, so we were talking about Alex Rodriguez, and he's a guy that you see him here and there because he's announcing, and I think he does a pretty good job as an announcer. He's so unpopular. If Alex Rodriguez had Derek Jeter's approach to playing baseball while he played, and he wasn't kind of such a PR problem, and he became so unpopular, and would have not been quite as mental, like would have had the just a better approach to as a person and less baggage off the field and just totally focused and had a great attitude over there. I think Alex Rodriguez would be in the discussion with Willie Mays and a few other guys, Ty Cobb, for being the best player ever. I think Alex Rodriguez was a great player. You know, James made the comment off the air that he knew Alex Rodriguez was a great player, but didn't really realize he had that many home runs. I mean, and again, a lot of those guys on that list were not known as like Willie Mays was, but like a lot of those guys were not known as complete players. Like they could run, they could play defense, all of that kind of stuff, had great arms. Like Alex Rodriguez had all of that. And he's a better defensive player than Jeter ever was. And he just kind of got in his own way. I really think that he had figured all that other stuff out earlier in life, because he's figured some of it out now. But if he had figured out all that stuff earlier in life, I think he'd be considered a top 5, 3 or 4 player of all time. I think he was that skilled, that talented. But, you know, it's not like, you know, he made Mega Millions, so, I mean, he doesn't really care. But I'm sure he's got quite a few regrets along that line. All right, so we've got the home run derby. The poll question was a great poll question about historic home run derby kind of stuff, and I probably overanalyzed it, but that's okay. Every once in a while, you got to have fun with the poll question. So we don't talk a whole lot of World Cup because I don't know a lot about the World Cup and about the history of it, but I've listened enough to know and to ask this question: is it an overstatement to say that Spain owns France? And if it's even close to the truth, why are more people not talking about it? Am I just missing something there? Am I misinterpreting the matchup today? It seems like Spain kind of owns France from what I've learned, and yet most people aren't even talking about that. Because we're on this France is the best team and no one else has a chance kind of narrative right now.
Yeah, and I think that really just stems from more of France's dominance so far and actually living up to the expectation from the beginning of this World Cup. Because, I mean, they've outside of the 1-0 Paraguay game where and even then, it didn't feel like it was all that in trouble for France. You still wonder, like, who's going to stop them? Like, I know France, and France kind of had a shaky start to this World Cup. It became questions very quickly within their first couple of group stage matches. It was like, are they going to be on upset alert? Are they going to be one of the disappointments in this tournament? And then they start to turn around, but this whole time, France has looked unstoppable, and even in the close 1-0 Paraguay game, where it took a penalty kick by Mbappe to get it done, even then, other than it just being really good defense and Paraguay trying its hardest to keep the ball away from France, you still didn't feel like France was going to lose that one. So I think, and I don't exactly know the history. I remember listening to a 2-hour video trying to update myself to remember how much the history looked going back to 1930 for the first World Cup. Because remember, we're about to hit the 25th one, next one in 2030.
Oh, I certainly don't know about any of that.
So
it just sounds like the question to me is not can Spain beat France, it's can France beat Spain?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is I don't exactly know the history, and I'm going to look it up because as far as I remember, I know Spain has had some good ones, but I know there's been at certain points where France has just had utter dominant runs. I just don't know exactly the individual matchups throughout the year. So that's what I was going to look up for us real quick.
So who are you pulling? You're pulling for France. Well, you have a French connection, of course.
I do. I guess
have, most of us in South Louisiana have some sort of French connection.
But I have more of it, I guess you could say, since I had specific friends that lived here for 2 years and then they moved back. So at this point in time, it's weird because I like Messi as he's over your left shoulder wearing the USA kit, which is funny, but I've always really liked Messi. Neymar's my favorite player, but a really close second has always been Messi. So I still like the fact that he's in it. Obviously not going for England by any stretch of the imagination. And I like France more than I like Spain. So if I look at it from a team aspect, it'd be kind of cool, especially the way that they're playing, that I would want to see. It'd be cool. I'd be fine with France getting it done, but I also would love to see a finals matchup and a rematch between Argentina and France like we had seen 4 years ago.
All right. So, I mean, again, we'll see how that goes. Might have some reaction. Of course, most of the next 2 days are going to be about the Sun Belt Conference. We're going to be at Sun Belt Conference Media Days. And, again, I know more about some of these teams than I did a week ago, and it's really strange. By the way, yesterday they announced they released the preseason poll for the Sun Belt. They released the preseason all Sun Belt team, and the Cajuns had a sprinkling of players. And I wrote a column yesterday about how utterly impossible it is to really do this. Now, I voted on the way it works is the coaches vote on the poll, the media votes on the preseason team. You cannot vote on the school that you cover. So I can't vote for any UL players because I cover the Cajuns. So it's hard to vote. Like, if a guy did really good last year, it makes it pretty easy. But with these transfers, like I was saying yesterday, if you don't have a track record in the conference, I tend, like I said, I tend to give the benefit of the doubt to school nominated players from schools that are really good at, like, if you play linebacker or defensive line at James Madison, I normally feel like, they have probably a better chance of being a really good player than an offense or defensive line at, like, Georgia Southern or Georgia State or some school that I don't consider quite as good on the line of scrimmage. And so, but, like if you're over the years, if you're a wide receiver at Arkansas State, those guys are normally been pretty productive over the last 15 years or so, and they're really good. So I might give a wide receiver at Arkansas State the benefit of the doubt if I don't know a whole lot about him or he doesn't have a big track record, and someone, a wide receiver at, James Madison, for instance, And so you can have those kind of thoughts in your mind, but all of these new players and it is. We joke like Rucker. I remember last year, like, there's no way that guy's still playing for Arkansas State, and he was. Or like Toby Payne, this tight end from Mark. Like, Toby Payne is still playing. It seems like he's been playing for 6 years. How can he still be there? But at least those guys, and I'll vote for him because he's been good. But so many of these teams have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 starters returning. I mean, think about that. Now, some of them are transferring from one school to another school, and if you do that, then at least you kind of know a little bit about them. But there's only, from what I could see, and again, some of this returning starters is so iffy because you don't even know, they haven't even started camp yet. But from what I could see, there's only 3 schools out of 14 that have double-digit returning starters. 3 out of 14. So that's what you're dealing with. In terms of trying to project how good teams are going to be, I mean, almost all of them have more non-returning starters than returning starters, or basically everyone does. Because I couldn't find a single school that has more than 10 returning starters. And so everyone has more new starters than non-new starters in the entire 14-team conference. And so, and some of these teams have like 1 or 2 or 3 returning starters on the whole roster. So you're talking about a lot of unanswered questions. And if you combine that with new coaching staff, that makes it even more. Now, we don't have a ton of new coaches, but we do have some teams with some like new coordinators, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator because they didn't play well. For instance, Georgia Southern has been a team that's put up a lot of yards. They hadn't stopped many people in recent years, and they have Coach Clay Helton, who's been there a while, but their defense was so dreadful last year that, they went out and got a new defensive coordinator, so we'll see if he makes a difference or not. You have other schools who needed new offensive coordinators because they were not very good on offense. So it's going to be very interesting to see how, the transition plays. And we'll be talking a lot about that over the next 2 days. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
How many delicious small sliders can you eat? You can find out by taking part in the Small Sliders Eating Contest held during the Lafayette Anniversary Bash on Saturday, July the 25th at 4611 Ambassador Caffrey Parkway. During the location's bash, which also features bounce houses and games for kids, live music, and more, we'll have this eating contest. To see how you would fare in the eating contest for small sliders, visit ESPN Southwest Louisiana.com. Click on the Small Sliders sign-up sheet.
ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Only the best of the best will stand proudly on the platform when Michael's Men's Club brings you the 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. It's a special night of fun and games when the Stripper Olympics returns to Michael's Men's Club. It's a no-holds-barred competition. Ladies, you have a chance to win big if you're in the game. Michael's Men's Club invites you to battle it out in 3 categories. The pole, the floor show, and the most ancient art of them all, the lap dance. With $650 cash per category. First place overall gets $1,500. Second place overall gets $1,000. And third overall gets $500. That's $5,000 in total Stripper Olympics cash to be awarded. Plus a feature in Exotic Dancer magazine. Professional entertainers come from all over the USA to compete for the $5,000 in cash. Guys, mark your calendar and tell your friends, because this is the event you cannot miss. The 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th at Lafayette's premier gentleman's establishment, Michael's Men's Club. Highway 90 Broussard. Doors open at 5 and show starts at 7 sharp. Tickets $30 at the door. Let the games begin. Get more details now at michaelsmensclub.com.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, they're national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Again, we've had some fun with our poll question of the day. The home run hitting contest was last night. It was pretty exciting. Jordan Walker winning, and we talked about our poll question. I kind of got you a little bit more, kind of threw out a few breadcrumbs about the Sun Belt Conference and what we're going to be looking at going into the next 2 days. It's the East tomorrow. It's the West on Thursday. And so we'll see how, if we can come up with any answers on the Sun Belt Conference. We'll see how that goes. But we also going to maybe talk a little bit about the World Cup. And, James, maybe have you changed your opinion on today's match?
I'll still go with France, but you were asking about the history of it all. So if we're including World Cup, UEFA, and Euros matchups, Spain does lead the series because they played 38 times. 18 of those, Spain has gotten the better of France. 13 times, it's been the other way around where France ends up being on top, and there's been 7 draws. So it's actually like not a dominant series between Spain and France, but Spain does lead the series.
So if you're a soccer fan from Spain, you're hearing all this stuff about how France is the best team, clear cut, and you're like, well, they got to beat us like we normally beat these people.
Yeah, I think
unless that's not as big a deal in soccer, but I would think soccer's not that different than other sports in that some teams just kind of match up and kind of have a mental edge over other teams.
Well, that's the thing is what it kind of feels like with NFL games sometimes, where you'll feel like you're leading the whole way, and then even though it's still close down the stretch, and all of a sudden, like one misstep, all of a sudden the game gets flipped on its head late, and then all of a sudden the team that's been losing the whole time just ends up winning. So you never quite know with soccer, but it's got similar aspects to it for sure.
Well, I have a little, going against the grain kind of a mentality when my team's not involved. So I find myself kind of rooting for Spain in this because I'm getting.
Yamin Lamal's pretty good for as young as he is.
So we'll see. All right, 1 hour down, another hour to go. Stay tuned.
Stop Smoking with Alex Goen, patented hypnosis.
My name's Robin Fletcher. I smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a seminar to stop smoking, and it worked.
The only stop smoking method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Alex Goen breaks your connection to cigarettes, coffee, stress, driving, even other smokers. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. You walk in a smoker and you walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Saturday, July 18th, the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 2 p.m. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN. alexgoen.com.
Get ready for one of South Louisiana's favorite summer traditions. The 17th annual STM Fishing Rodeo is July 31st and August 1st at Quintana Landing in Sycamore Point. Whether you're chasing the winning catch or just looking for a great weekend on the water, enjoy great fishing, exciting prizes, delicious food, and a fun atmosphere, all while supporting St. Thomas More Catholic High School. Register by July 24th at noon to guarantee your official event t-shirt. Register today at stmcougars.net/fishing.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals took home the Home Run Derby championship last night in his first ever time competing in the contest. He beat out Philly Kyle Schwarber in the championship round 12-11 and hit 6 consecutive home runs, with 4 coming on the bonus ball to beat Schwarber for the crown. Walker's longest home run of the night was 470 feet, but Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay had the longest of the Derby with a 491-foot blast in the second round. Continuing with the MLB All-Star break, the 2026 All-Star Game gets underway tonight from Philadelphia. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez is in the starting lineup for the American League, batting in the 2 spot as the designated hitter. On the mound, it'll be Dylan Cease of Toronto representing the American League, opposite of Christopher Sanchez for the National League and the hosting Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is at 7 p.m. tonight from Citizens Bank Park. Today in the FIFA World Cup semifinals, France will face neighbor and longtime rival Spain for a spot in the World Cup final. This is the 3rd straight semifinal fixture between the two teams in competitive tournaments, with Spain winning both of the previous meetings. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. this afternoon from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The road to the college football season continues tomorrow as Kevin Foote and Dawson Iserlo will head to New Orleans for Sun Belt Conference Media Days. You'll be able to catch Footnotes with Kevin Foote from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by the Lowdown with D-Lo from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Coverage begins tomorrow with live interviews and all the latest news on Sun Belt Conference football. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, certainly do so. 706-0111, 706-0111. We have talked about our poll question of the day. We have talked a little bit of Sun Belt Conference football to kind of set the stage for the next 2 days. We'll do a little bit more of that. In the next segment, we're going to talk to our old friend Bobby Nouveau. We've done some updates on baseball and football. We haven't done a lot on softball, and they haven't made as many acquisitions as baseball, but they made a few key ones, and so we're going to discuss kind of maybe what it could mean, maybe speculate a little bit of what else is left in the transfer portal for softball and for the Cajuns as they try to get back to being where they're used to being on the top of the Sun Belt Conference. And so we'll do a little bit of talking with our old friend Bobby Nova, and I don't know, he maybe even let him. He's been kind of down on his Yankees like Blake does, but like I told him, it's going to come back. I mean, the Yankees are still the favored by most people to go to the World Series, and so we may even get Bobby's thoughts on that as well. For now, let us head back to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Kevin, this is going to be – me and you are pretty old. You know, we've established that pretty good there. We've been around the block a few times. But we both don't have that much knowledge of soccer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kevin, one thing I've kind of learned through this process is that a soccer official controls more he controls more than any other official in any other sport. Because it's really just one cat on the field and the rest are on the side, and they don't do much but say pick up their flag for offside or say who's the ball for. Have you noticed that one person controls that much? No other official in any other sport controls that much.
Well, the home plate umpire, you could argue.
Good, but you also got a lot of close calls at first base and second base and all kind of other stuff that goes on. But all right, let me transfer it a little bit more. Okay, now, Kevin, you notice like one time the Americans played, the official was from Brazil. So, okay, let's say we got an official from Brazil. Well, one of the teams is Japan, and the other one is, Croatia. What language do they speak?
No, it's complicated. Plus, you have the old conspiracy theories like the old Olympic judge, from Russia, kind of, or East Germany or whatever, that we used to talk about a lot. So, it's complicated. The other thing along that line, and again, I'm not speaking from any kind of authority here, total novice for the most part. I'm not totally convinced on replay. I mean, I'm all for replay, but I'm not totally convinced that the replay's always right in baseball, basketball, and football. But it sure seems like the replay is a lot more wrong more often from what we've seen in this World Cup. Well, why is their video replay process worse? Could it be a language barrier? Like, what's the issue there?
I think the language barrier could be something, Kevin, but I also think that FIFA is one of the most corrupt organizations they got. And they're all about getting everything the best way suited for them. I mean, you want to talk about conspiracy theory. Wasn't one of their officials, the head guy about 8 years ago, got fired because he was taking bribes from these countries for whole fights?
No. The FIFA, the headquarters of FIFA needs to be, in the Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area for sure. So they're very comfortable with that. But I mean, I guess that correlates to the replay system. But it just, I hear people who know infinitely more about soccer than me, they're not too happy with the replay system they have.
Okay, look, I know James is listening, but James, last like a language barrier. Is there like a one conceded language that's going to be spoken on the field, depending where the official's from? I mean, or the two teams speak different languages? How does that happen?
Yeah, so normally what they're doing is they'll have the referee crews normally, if they're not going to be from the exact same country, they'll usually try to find like the same region or at least find them to make sure that they speak the same language or in some sense, because some of them are going to be bilingual, like they'll speak multiple languages. That way, in some way, they will have as best communication as possible instead of it being like, this guy's speaking Swahili and this other guy's speaking Mandarin. We have no idea what's going on. No, normally they'll find guys and women to be able to speak the same language. That way they're on the same page.
Okay, you see, that makes me think how FIFA could go more corrupt on that. FIFA might insert the team they want to win, a referee that speaks more the language of the team they want to win.
Maybe, but I don't know. But at the same time, you're not gonna have all the referees be from like specifically Brazil or France. Like you're gonna make sure that you have the best referees from each country, but not specifically referee the games of where their home country is playing. So it's like they're not gonna have a Brazilian ref referee the Brazil match against Japan. They're not going to have an American ref USA versus Belgium. Like, they'll have different guys for different matches.
Well, Kevin, I don't know about you, but, boy, let me tell you something. If I had my heart and soul involved in this, man, I would worry about who the referee is. That would be one of the most important things before going into a match.
Absolutely. I appreciate the call. While we're on this line, and again, we're trying to learn. Like I said, I'll repeat. I'm not making any statements here so much because these are all more so questions. But I want, like, my first impression. And how high school soccer is in this area may not be how it is, or maybe it's a soccer culture that I was unaware of, and maybe it's worldwide. But while we're talking about relationships between players and coaches and officials in the different sports, my first reaction to high school soccer when I first started calling it is that the players trash talk, dog cursed, disrespected officials more than any other player does in any other sport more than baseball, basketball, or football. Is that a soccer thing, nationally and internationally, or it seemed that way? That was the impression I got.
That overall, like, soccer players in a match will just dog curse
in other words, they have a lot more liberty. Like, you can only say so much to an umpire, and they're going to throw you out the game. And most football officials are going to throw flags if you get really personal with them.
It wouldn't surprise me because it does feel like all the time, each individual call feels like half of the team on one side is getting in the ref's face. It's like, how are you going to call that on me? And it's like after every call, and the ref basically is like, move out the way. I'm making my call. Here's your yellow card. Or let me get out the shaving cream so I can draw the line for you on this free kick. Like, it seems like they have more of a patience, I guess you could say. I don't know what's being said. We don't have mics. And I'm not the best lip reader, and sometimes the angle doesn't help either. But it does feel like with as much as these players and basically half the team every single time is getting in the ref's face to figure out what are we doing, they just kind of are like, move out the way. And the only time they kick somebody out is, especially with this World Cup, because they made it a new rule, if you cover your mouth while you're talking so that people can't see what you're saying, the ref it's an automatic red card, and it's like, you're out. That's a new thing. So other than that, it seems like you could say almost whatever you want, but at the same time, we don't know exactly what's being said, so it's more up for debate.
And with the language thing, I think that's why that those referees seem like they're playing charades sometimes on the field because of the language thing. But anyway, all right, before we get to our timeout and talk to Bobby, what is it updated on our poll question of the day?
So, who would win in this home run derby between all-timers of Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and Albert Pujols? Would you be surprised if I said that nearly 64% of the votes have gone towards Bonds?
No, because, he's known as the home run hitter. But again, if you're doing Bonds, I just think his whole career, Ruth was a great home run hitter. Bonds had explosive power before, and many of us have argued he was a better baseball player before he bulked up. But I don't think that Bonds could out-homer Ruth, for sure.
A second question. Are you surprised that Pujols doesn't have a single vote so far?
I guess a little bit, but again, Pujols is just not. He hit a ton of home runs, or we wouldn't have been one of the options. But I think it's kind of like Hank Aaron. I mean, they hit a lot of home runs, but they're more great hitters that hit lot. They were more line drive hitters. They didn't really have home run swings.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
like those other two had home run swings?
I was going to say, and do you think just because of how long Pujols played, that played a factor, and obviously his numbers being as high as it is for the home runs?
Or maybe they know it's been a rough baseball season for me, and Pujols tortured me his whole career, so they're trying to be nice to me.
Perhaps.
You think that could be part of it?
I think that
I don't think so, but
that could
I'd
be
like
an
to
option.
think that,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm definitely not going to pick it, but I can give you it as an option for sure.
I don't know. I just don't. I think Pujols was just. I mean, he had his first 10 or 12 years in baseball. He was tremendous. Arguably one of the best. Certainly the best at his position, but arguably one of the best 5 or 6 hitters ever. As good as he was, but I just don't think a lot of people think he had quite the home run swing that all those, and I think he would tell you the same. I don't think he would vote for himself in that deal. One, I think he's a nice guy, but two, I think he wouldn't vote for himself because he doesn't look at himself as
he doesn't recognize himself as that
swing, like those other ones had. So I don't know. The more I think about it, I'm saying Ruth,
the Babe, the great Bambino.
We can ask Bobby that question as well. He's a softball guy, but he was a baseball guy a lot longer than once he picked up softball. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll talk a little Cajun softball with Bobby next. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Bluebell Ice Cream's been making the best ice cream in the country for more than 100 years, and they have unveiled a great new flavor this summer, chocolate lava cake. This limited edition flavor combines classic vanilla-flavored ice cream with rich chocolate cake pieces, chocolate sundae sauce, and a dark chocolate fudge swirl, creating a dessert-like experience reminiscent of the molten chocolate lava cake with every bite. You can find chocolate lava cake or any of your Bluebell favorites at your local grocery store. So pick up a pint or two of Bluebell ice cream today.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Around Acadiana, community means supporting the businesses that make our hometown special. That's why we're proud to spotlight local companies that are certified South Louisiana.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. He's supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB. Over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry.
No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't
be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
855-719-3099. 855-719-3099. 855-719-3099. That's 855-719-3099.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Time to shift gears, talk a little Cajun softball. We haven't done much of that this summer. Getting caught up with our friend, Mr. Bobby Nova. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, Kevin. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Oh, you know, I can't count to 3 in my starting rotation. I've lost the last 2 series, and so my mind's kind of taking a break. Meanwhile, you've been bad-mouthing your Yankees for a while. I mean, y'all crushed one of the best hitting teams in the league, abused their bullpen, and now y'all are going into the All-Star break with all kind of momentum.
Well, we get, a little 4-game winning streak, but before that it was tough. And, all I ever told you is that we were struggling, Kevin. I don't know what that means to you, but you can't sit there and tell me that the Yankees were not struggling the last couple of weeks.
They were struggling, no question, but they just like the Cubs came out of it, the Yankees will come out of it. We'll see how it plays out long term. All right, I don't know if you heard our poll question of the day, but if there was, did you hear it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, our poll question of the day, on a fantasy all-time home run derby, who would win between Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, and who was the third one? The fourth one?
It was Hank Aaron.
Oh, Hank Aaron. Yeah, Hank Aaron, Albert Pujols, Barry Bonds, or Babe Ruth.
Well, I'm going to go with Babe Ruth. I think he would.
I'm shocked
by that one. I think he would have so much fun out there. He wouldn't even really know what was going on. He would just stand there and hit bombs.
All right, I actually, but you won't believe this, but I actually voted for the Bambino myself. So
no, I don't believe you.
I can confirm, Mr. Bobby, he did pick Babe.
Okay.
All right, so Cajun softball. Obviously, is it fair to say or argue that this transfer portal or summer or whatever you want, this period, is the most important in UL softball history?
I think we lost him. I'll have to call him back.
Uh-oh.
I heard him say hello.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to call him.
All right, we'll try to get Bobby back. But no, the point there is that, it's obviously very important. They had some needs, and most of the needs the vast majority of the needs that Cajun softball needed was in the battery, pitcher and catcher. And you say, well, you had a really good catcher last year. And they did in Kennedy Marceau. She wasn't by trade a catcher, but she had played catcher, and they needed her to play catcher, so they played her at catcher. Well, that wasn't, they were hoping for other, and we're back with Bobby, that they were hoping to move Kennedy to other places, and it looks like they've got the ability now to potentially move her to another position with the acquisition of a Florida State catcher. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, this kid, Nagati, I think who Kevin, she's an outstanding individual, and the reason I know that is because she's a huge Yankee fan. So,
her name is Danica Spinagati. And I don't know that I'm saying it exactly, but what a name. I mean, what a name.
That's a great name.
Yes.
CBP would have fun without me.
Yes, exactly. But she didn't play. She never really played it for you. She was there, first year there last year. She comes from a very, I don't follow high schools, but all of us have heard of Monteverdi Academy in Florida, I would think, if you follow it at all. And so she came from a very popular and very successful high school program and did a lot of great things there. So there's a lot of reason to think this could work.
Yeah, I think she can come in and provide, some much needed help behind the plate. And, you're going to have, you can also, what's her name? Mia Norwood could also get some time maybe behind the plate. She could play some outfield and behind the plate. And then the freshman, Zoe Harrington from North Vermilion. But, Spina Gotti, she had an outstanding high school career, outstanding career in travel ball, and I think she's going to be able to come in and help the Cajuns behind the plate. She can also play first base from what I understand, and I think she's a really good get for the Cajuns.
All right, so you have two players in KG Favors and Spinagati who both played for really, really successful high school programs, multiple state championships, nationally ranked, and all that kind of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean they were necessarily the MVPs of those teams, but they were big parts of both of those teams. So I see kind of a theme there, recruiting really highly successful high school players.
Yeah, and she was, Favors was at one time one of the top pitchers in travel ball when she was younger, and she played for an outstanding high school program also at Orange Beach High School in Alabama, and I think they were they named a national champion. I think her senior year, Orange Beach was the national champions. I don't know how they figured all that out, but so she's had a lot of success, played on a lot of really good teams, and just didn't get an opportunity to pitch a whole lot at South Carolina last year. So looking forward to adding her to the pitching staff and, Coach Brady getting to, be able to get her in the bullpen and work with her.
All right, so I'm gonna do this and say this, and you tell me where you think I might be being a little too presumptuous or being a little too early for a program that's coming off two rough seasons by this program's standards. You would think it would be a little bit of chaos, full of questions, and yet I'm looking. Injuries and all kind of things can happen between now and the season opener. We understand that. But it's not too hard for me to come up with a starting kind of lineup. You got Condi, who we haven't talked to you about, a transfer from Texas Tech at third base. I've been trying to get Brooke Otto to the outfield since before the season opener last year. It looks like that might finally happen, where Brooke can go to the outfield, more of a natural position, and then Kennedy Marceau in center, and Deja in right, and Haley at second, and Mia at short, and Danica at catcher, and we just got to figure out first base. It seems pretty set up already, and we're just in July.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. You look at it on paper, a lot of that, is possibly could happen, and then you're going to get into fall ball, and you're going to get to see, a kid like Kennedy Marceau could play. She could play third. She could play short. She can certainly play center field, which I'm kind of thinking and hearing that's where they would kind of like to have her if everything works out like they want it to, and then. At first base, you got some possibilities. You got the Smith kid. What's her first name? Emily Smith, who, from what I understand, Kevin, had an outstanding summer in that Texas Lone Star State League. She was voted the outstanding power hitter of the season there, and someone who also has a daughter that played in that league told me that she hit over 400 and she had 11 home runs in a 24-game season. So hopefully she figured some things out. You got Emily there. You got Maddie Manning that could play first base. You got Lily Knox that could play first base. We all know she could also play in the outfield. So I think you got a lot of depth on the team and a lot of moving parts. And, The pitching is going to be, very young. You got Sage Hoover returning, and then a bunch of young kids. With Favors got 4 years left. Who's going to be in her second year, and she'll have 4 years left with the new rule. And then you got Bailey Mackles, and also the freshman from Alabama, Emily Adams, who I think was the Class 5A pitcher of the year in the state of Alabama, and I think she's a little left-hander, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think the Cajuns are going to add one more pitcher here pretty soon. So, Coach Brady's going to have his work cut out for him. I know he's a hard worker. He loves to get in the bullpen and work with those kids, and he's going to have a bunch of young kids that he'll be able to work with. So
the biggest question, again, from what we know, and we don't know everything, like you say, they're very, very likely going to add another pitcher to the roster. The biggest question, as I see it at this point, is there's still not a no doubt who is the, okay, so and so is the ace pitcher. It seemed like that was important. They still don't quite have that.
Well, you got to think Sage coming in to the fall is going to, she'll be penciled in as the ace, but of course that could all change with, when you go through fall ball in January, and she's going to have the most experience. And I've talked to Sage a couple of times this summer. She's, she's really working hard in the weight room, and she's getting stronger. She'll be, another year past that surgery, and I think she'll even be better than she was last year. We saw some flashes last year when she was really, really good, and I think the key for Sage this year will be, if she can become more consistent in the circle, and then Favors and some of those other young kids are going to have to be, work to try to get some innings in, and they're going to have to eat up some innings for sure for us to be successful.
Well, I kind of went over Condi real quick, but she's a fascinating from California, went to Texas Tech and didn't play a lot, but sound like she competed very well in inter-squad games and in the fall. And it's not that they weren't high on her at all, but obviously there's a lot of talent ahead of her. What are your expectations for her?
Well, coming out of high school, she was fairly highly recruited, and she really wanted to go to Texas Tech, and she ended up walking on. They gave her an opportunity to walk on, and then now she just kind of, she got into the portal, and she found what she was looking for in the Cajuns. And I talked to Coach Glasgow about her, and he loved her, man. He said, this kid, she can really hit. She had a lot of success in the fall last year, in the fall scrimmages against, their top pitchers, and she's a great teammate. Everybody on the team really loved her. So looking for some good things from that kid. He also said that, Coach Honovich, who was in charge of the defense, really, really liked her at third base. So that's another great addition for the Cajuns.
And, you can't always judge by this, but I got a chance to interview her, and she was very, very personable, very impressive interview. A lot of times you interview, guys and girls, and they don't, they're just kind of blah in the interview. But she was a lot of personality, very impressive, very interactive. So I'm looking forward to interviewing her. And there's something to that if they have a presence there, and she handled it very well. So, I think pitching is the biggest question mark still. I mean, I can see a lot of improvement with this offense, especially if getting from behind the plate can help Kennedy at all, and if Deja Williams takes that next step.
Yeah, Deja takes that next step, and Emily Smith can come back and have another year like she had her freshman year. That offense is going to be really good, especially, a kid like Brooke Otto can come back and have the same kind of year she had last year. And Mia Lascano, she really kind of turned it on offensively. And, of course, Money had a great year. So you put all those pieces together, I think the Cajuns have a chance to be really good offensively. And you add Spina Gotti into the mix there. And if she can hit like I'm hearing she can hit, offensively, I think the Cajuns are going to be really good. And maybe early in the year, the offense may have to carry the pitching a little bit. But I know Coach Brady's going to have those kids ready to go, hopefully by February.
All right. Well, I know, we had a gentleman who called a couple of weeks ago. We haven't heard much about softball, and at the time there wasn't a whole lot to report, but they've signed some players since then, and so it's starting to shape up. We'll see what it looks like, and we just wanted to get you on, and we haven't had you on in a while. Put one and two, give us a little bit of update. So it sounds pretty positive. You feeling better?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little bit better, and They went into the summer. I think, they wanted to get a couple of pitchers and a third baseman and a catcher, and I think they're going to accomplish that. I think they're going to sign another pitcher, and, we'll see. And, I'm starting to feel a little bit better about the roster and the upcoming fall, and it's going to be fun, to watch these kids develop and watch and see what the Cajuns are going to have to offer here in the 2027 season.
All right. We appreciate your time as always, sir. Enjoy the All-Star game tonight.
Oh, I will, for the first 3 innings.
All right. All right. Thank you, Bobby.
All right.
The man's getting so old he can't last through the first 3 innings. Come on. I don't know. I'm gonna be in New Orleans by that time, is the plan anyway. So hopefully I'm not fighting floodwaters or anything. So we'll see how that goes with how much I get to see tonight. We'll see. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals took home the Home Run Derby championship last night in his first ever time competing in the contest. He beat out Philly Kyle Schwarber in the championship round 12-11 and hit 6 consecutive home runs, with 4 coming on the bonus ball to beat Schwarber for the crown. Walker's longest home run of the night was 470 feet, but Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay had the longest of the Derby with a 491-foot blast in the second round. Continuing with the MLB All-Star break, the 2026 All-Star Game gets underway tonight from Philadelphia. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez is in the starting lineup for the American League, batting in the 2 spot as the designated hitter. On the mound, it'll be Dylan Cease of Toronto representing the American League, opposite of Christopher Sanchez for the National League and the hosting Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is at 7 p.m. tonight from Citizens Bank Park. Today in the FIFA World Cup semifinals, France will face neighbor and longtime rival Spain for a spot in the World Cup final. This is the 3rd straight semifinal fixture between the two teams in competitive tournaments, with Spain winning both of the previous meetings. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. this afternoon from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The road to the college football season continues tomorrow as Kevin Foote and Dawson Iserlo will head to New Orleans for Sun Belt Conference Media Days. You'll be able to catch Footnotes with Kevin Foote from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by the Lowdown with D-Lo from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Coverage begins tomorrow with live interviews and all the latest news on Sun Belt Conference football. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and the Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, they're national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call Call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm, LSB filing number LA2519684.
Imagine a place where wellness, luxury, and community come together. Welcome to City Club at River Ranch, Acadiana's premier private club. Enjoy a state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
Are you looking for an eye expert? Well, visit Acadiana Optics in Broussard, locally owned, founded, and operated by Broussard native Dr. Lindsay Dugas. From comprehensive eye exams for glasses and contacts to diabetic exams, pediatric eye care, emergency eye care, cataract and LASIK evaluations, Acadiana Optics provides family eye care for all vision needs. Enjoy state-of-the-art technology, designer frame selections, prescription Maui Jim sunglasses, and custom glasses and contacts. Acadiana Optics in Broussard. Call today to schedule your appointment.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and your home for the LSU Tigers.
Welcome back to Footnotes. All right, well, we've talked a lot of home run derby today. We talked a little bit about the Sun Belt Conference. We just got finished getting an update on UL softball from Bobby, so we've touched a lot of bases. And so let us head out to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm on Interstate 10, almost to the East Crowley exit, so you know where I'm going.
All right. So Jeff has been, if you've been following, Jeff's been kind of giving us an update. He's writing a book about high school football in the state. And since we last spoke, you have met and visited with the legendary coach, not just in the state of Louisiana, but in the nation. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I got to visit last Tuesday. I was in River Ridge and John Curtis to visit with J.T. Curtis. And I tell you, you think you know somebody, and it's the same thing with like Dennis Dunn. You think you know somebody, and your perception and reality is two different things, man. I tell you, really, 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 really two different things.
What were some of the things about him that stood out to you?
Well, I'll tell you this: when you asked him about when I asked him about his mentor, and you know his dad was going to be a big thing, but when he tells you Jesus Christ right off the bat, you know he's not just saying that to fill up something. There's no question that his spirituality, his faith has played is in his entire role as a head football coach, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to hear about his faith, but not right off the bat. He talked about, the greatest game he ever played in. He's got so much to choose from. And he talks about a semifinal game at Faraday back in like 1981 or 82 when Jerry Baldwin was the coach at Faraday, and how that game went back and forth, and they eventually won. So he thought maybe he would have pulled one of his state championship games really, really close. But he pulled a semifinal game from like 1981 that really, really surprised me. I didn't think he would have talked about a game like that. And then he mentioned to me, I asked him about, how do you handle, maybe parents and fans complaining. He wouldn't think he'd hear that much. after all the winning he's done, he said, hear that? He said, that's every week. My kid's not getting enough playing time and this and that. And he says, I tell people that are complaining I should have did this. He said, I tell you what, you tell me your opinion 25 seconds before I make the call. Don't tell me 25 seconds after. And I thought that was hilarious.
Well, I talk about that. It's about first guessing and not second or third guessing. And it's funny how you can be, and that should make all coaches of all levels feel a little better. If you can be the winningest coach like in the history of the country, and you're still getting complaints from parents, I guess anybody can.
Yep. I mean, you didn't think he would be getting that. He says every week. Like even during the summer, how much playing time is my kid going to get this year? I'm like, we early July, and I talked to Coach Jess Curtis at Southside last week, and I heard basically the same thing, man. You know, parents already called how much playing time my kid's going to get. And he's like, I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that you don't realize happens behind the scenes this early.
How worried or I don't know if y'all got into this, how worried was JT just about the future of high school football?
He's concerned about it. You know, he said it's really getting to the point where these kids are coming in with no father at all, and really it's getting harder and harder because kids are not listening like they used to. They're not buying into the program like they used to. It's not so much harder for him because he has a lot of kids that come through the system, but he has kids that come in and transfer in, and it's like very difficult to work with him when you got all the other kids on a certain level and you got 3 or 4 that just don't want to buy in because they came from somewhere else.
Right.
You know, and again, when I asked him about his overall record, because I wanted to note that, he says, I don't know. He says, I do not know what my record is. And,
I believe that.
And I'm surprised. You would think he would know that, and he didn't know that.
Well, I'm not a surprise. Well, look, it's great. I appreciate you filling this in, and keep it up. We'll keep getting some updates. Have a good one.
Gotcha.
All right. Take care. No, again, it's something that, whether it's Coach Cook, who we've interviewed many times, going to try to get Coach Cook back on in a few weeks as we get a little closer to high school football, or JT Curtis. There's still parents that think, because they're worried about their kid, that they know more than the coach. And it's got to seem almost silly. But, I think that's just human nature. We argue about things with GMs and head coaches and managers depending on the sports here. And sometimes you're right. And sometimes we just, the issue is so much more complicated. I've joked before that I would love, I still think Reggie Bush should have returned kickoffs more than he did. Other people say that's just crazy. Like that he was never, that should have never happened. I will forever say that dump truck in 41, the decision that they made to do that was not wise. That's not the kind of back he was, and that they robbed a lot of the years. And again, that was Casper that started that process. And I'm surprised that 41 played into that, because I think he's smarter than that. And yet that happened. But to question, a legend like him, or, a legend like Coach Cook, it's crazy. It just shows you that if they can get questioned, anyone can. All right, let us head back out to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Hey, man, Mr. Tom.
Hey.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Listen, there's 2 things I'm going to do today. Number 1, I'm going to watch the Spain-France soccer match, because those are the 2 best teams. It should be the best game in the tournament. And number 2, I'm not going to watch the All-Star game. Does that make sense?
Are you angry at something, or you just don't want to watch?
No. I haven't watched the All-Star game since I went to 1 game per year. most of the time it's like players like Otani and Guerrero who should be there but aren't. And it's most of the time it's just an exhibition game, and it just, there's always something else for me to do. And there's no offense, nothing against the All-Star game.
Well, the time is work. Like, the World Cup, these big World Cup semifinal, quarterfinal games are during the day, so it kind of fits into to schedules a little better for some people.
It does fit in better. At first I thought, boy, that's crazy to have them both on the same day, and then I realized that they're going to play it. But it looks like it's raining in Arlington, which makes it kind of interesting. It's kind of different. It makes an interesting game, But both those teams, the French and the Spanish, those are the two best teams. And then Argentina and England. One thing's for certain: the English will all take a day off tomorrow.
Oh, I believe that.
Guarantee.
So who are you picking? Who are you expecting to see in the finals?
Well, I have France and Argentina. That's I'd like to see England, but they, since they invented the game in 1870, they've only been in the finals about 5 times. So it's like it's not something that they normally do, but they get real cranked up. And this is one of the teams that's really well balanced. That's the difference. They always had a big star, but this is a balanced team. But Argentina with Messi. Whew.
All right. I appreciate the call. We'll see what happens. Enjoy it.
All right.
Take care.
See you later.
We were talking earlier about the whole language barrier. I guess it would make it easier. I wonder if they're going to – if it's Argentina and Spain, I would think they would – I mean, they may already have who the officials are going to be, but maybe they'll need someone that speaks Spanish, because that would fit where everyone would be speaking the same language. Now, I don't know how different the dialects are from Argentina compared to Spain. I have no idea on that kind of stuff, but I just thought about that when he said that. We were talking about the language barriers with the officials and the players and the video people and all of that. Maybe all that can be on the same page. We will see. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
With storm season now here, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, and Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley bring you these hurricane safety tips. Make sure to secure your home and bring in items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with food, water, and medications. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with a battery-powered radio, and make sure that you have fresh batteries. Safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips are powered by Mid-South Power Solutions and Crawley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Lose weight with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
This is Lisa Stofan. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods. I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight.
The only weight loss method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office, because it reprograms your subconscious. Engineered to kill cravings, emotional eating, and late-night fridge attacks. Get full on half the food, so you lose the weight and you keep it off. 10 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever your goal. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com. alexgoen.com.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
Black's Outdoor and Marine is Acadiana's Spartan Mower headquarters. Spartan Mowers delivering more mowing power and performance. Black's has commercial and residential Spartan mowers with Kawasaki motors in stock now and ready to cut. Black's also has parts, service, and financing available. Call 337-233-4272. That's 337-233-4272 or stop by 1423 Northwest Evangeline Thruway in Lafayette. Black's Outdoor and Marine serving Acadiana since 1968.
Are you not getting enough Kevin Foote in your life?
I want more. I want more.
Then make sure to check out the latest episode of Foote's Friday Fury on the ESPN Southwest Louisiana YouTube page.
All that's important right now is they decide to change their draft philosophy, stop the run. If he was the first choice and he didn't stop the run, what good does that do? Nothing. So stop talking about what choice he is. Let's focus on stopping the run and stop botching the first and second round. That's all that's important. All that other stuff is just garbage, hatred talk that means nothing.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell to get notifications of more of the Furious Foot.
I may be off a day, but is today 2 weeks from Saints training camp? They're reporting like the 28th, or is it the 29th? It's right in that time, so we're basically 2 weeks away from camp. So
Yeah.
We've got Sunbelt Conference Media Days the next 2 days. We've got SEC Media Days the next week. And then the week after that, the Saints report.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
Southland Conference Media Days the next week.
Yeah, I believe it's July 29th is when it starts.
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Again, football, in many ways, football season starts tomorrow. You could argue it. And so we that's why we had that the poll question yesterday about are you ready for football season. So if you did not hear about it, we mentioned it earlier. If you didn't see it yesterday, James Madison was picked to win. Obviously, you know, that was not a surprise. Troy was picked to win the West, and Troy actually had more points, more votes, or points in the voting process, I should say, than James Madison did by 2. And the Cajuns actually had the third most points in the voting process. With 75, Old Dominion, the second place team predicted in the East, had 73. And so, again, if you go, and we'll talk about this in great detail over the next 2 days and tomorrow for sure on the East, but all these teams have major questions, like things that, you know, yeah, they're really good here, or, you know, they had a lot of turnover in this area, or they have a new coach in this James Madison situation, or, yeah, they were really good on offense, but they were not good on defense. So, like, they've got a lot of improvement to make in this area or that area. And so it's just, you know, Coach Napier used to say it, and Coach Des says it all the time as well. Everybody's got problems. Like, sometimes you think, you know, you're the only one that has all these problems you have as a coach, whether it's injuries in this area or whatever, university, whatever. Every team, even if you've got all this money like James Madison does, Everyone's got issues. Everyone's got obstacles to overcome, and it's a matter of how good of a job you do overcoming them. And so we'll see. Kind of set the stage, and we'll have a lot to discuss over the next 2 days as we do Sunbelt Conference Media Days in downtown New Orleans. Hopefully the weather treats us well, because there has been some flooding since the weekend. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow from New Orleans. Have a good day.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Looking for a great deal on golf this summer? Head to Farm Alley Golf Course for the Sizzlin' Summer Special. Every Tuesday through Thursday, tee off anytime between noon and 3:30 and enjoy 18 holes of championship golf, including a cart for just $55. That's unbeatable summer golf at an unbeatable price. Gather your friends, sharpen your game, and make the most of